Hello everyone, welcome back. It's been a while since I uploaded my last video, and I apologize for that, but fortunately, I'm back. Today I have another highly requested Discord Pi tutorial. In this video, we are going to be creating a basic music bot. I'm going to go over how to join and leave voice channels, as well as play, pause, and resume audio. There are going to be a few requirements for this project, including Ffmpeg and YouTube DL, which we're both going to install in this tutorial. I'll show you how to do that later, but for now let's jump right into the code and get into PyCharm. Here in PyCharm I have my basic template set up. If you've never coded a Discord bot before, I highly suggest you check out my prior Discord Pi videos where I show you step by step how to get everything set up, and those will be linked in the description. So the first command I'm going to create is the play command. And I'm not going to exactly complete this play command just yet. I'm going to first write a little bit of code in it, and then we'll write the more complicated code when we're finished with all the other commands. So we're going to say @client.command, and then we're going to create an asynchronous function. We're going to call this play, and we're going to pass in CTX. We're also going to pass in a parameter called URL, and we're going to make sure that this URL is set to a string. So when the user calls this command, they're basically going to copy and paste a URL into it, and that will be the audio source that plays. The next thing we want to do is get the voice channel we want to connect our bot to. So we'll say voice channel equals discord.utils.get. The discord.utils library is a great way to collect data and access the channels and servers that your bot is in. So essentially what we're going to do with this is search for the voice channel with the specific name. So we'll say ctx.guild.voice_channels, then a comma, and we'll put name equals general. So in the server I have set up for this project, I only have one voice channel and it's called general, but most likely your voice channel is going to be named something different, so you're just going to want to change that here. And if you don't necessarily want to have it just be one voice channel that your bot connects to, you can actually pass in another argument in the command. So we'll say channel, and then you would change this to channel, so the user would also have to give the channel name when they call the command. But for my purposes, I'm just going to leave this as general and remove this parameter here. Once we have the channel we want to access, we have to set up a voice client. So we're going to create another variable called voice, and we'll say voice equals discord.utils.get, and this time we're going to do client and then .voice clients. So this is going to search through all the voice clients, and we'll set the guild equal to ctx.guild. So this is going to go through all of the voice clients in the guild and select one to use. A voice client just allows us to use some of the functions that the Discord Pi library gives us with voice channels. Now to get our bot to actually join the voice channel, we can use this command called await voice channel.connect. And if we run this code, so I'm going to run this, and our bot is online. If I say play, and then I'll just put in something random for the URL, here we have our tutorial bot inside of the general voice channel. One more thing we have to account for is if the bot is already inside a voice channel, we don't want it trying to connect twice. So we can fix that with a simple if statement and say if not voice dot is underscore connected, then we want to connect to the voice channel. But if it is already connected, then we're not going to connect it to the voice channel again. So now that we have this basic connecting to the voice channel part of this command done, I'm going to go back to this command later and show you guys how you can actually play audio from this command. But before we do that, we're gonna actually go over a few of the more simpler commands, like leaving a voice channel, resuming music and pausing music and stuff like that. So we're gonna start with leaving a voice channel. We're gonna create a command. I'll call it leave, pass in ctx. And in this command, we're going to actually copy and paste the code from up here, this line that says voice equals discord.utils. And what we're going to do here is say await voice dot disconnect. So this is going to disconnect the voice client from the channel. Again, we're going to add an if statement and say if our voice dot is underscore connected, then we're going to disconnect it. But if it's not connected, we're going to send a message and say the bot is not connected to a voice channel, so it can't leave. Alright, so that's all for the leave command. Another command that we're going to include is the pause command. So say async def pause. We're going to pass in ctx. And again, we're going to use this line from up here, paste that in. And we're going to create an if statement and say if not voice, or we'll say if voice dot is underscore playing, then we want to pause that audio. So we'll say voice dot pause. Else we'll send a message saying that no audio is playing, so we can't pause it. The resume command is very similar to this pause command. Again, we're going to paste in that, oops, I have to create my function first. So we'll say async def resume, pass in ctx, make sure this is indented properly, and we'll say if voice dot is underscore paused, then we're going to voice dot resume. Else we'll say ctx dot send, the audio is not paused. The last command we're going to create is the stop command. The stop command is slightly different from the leave command. Both actually stop the audio, but the leave command or the disconnect command is going to remove the bot from the voice channel, but the stop command, it'll just stop the audio, but the bot will still remain in the voice channel. So they're slightly different. Anyways, we're going to create a function, call it stop, pass in ctx. Again, we're going to have our voice line there, and we'll just say voice.stop. So those should be all the commands that you need. Now we're going to dive deeper into the play command, and we're going to need to install a few things first. The first thing we need to install is Ffmpeg. I'm not an expert on Ffmpeg because I kind of just learned about it for this tutorial, but Ffmpeg is essentially a software that lets you convert audio or video into something that apparently Discord can understand and play in VCs. So the way I installed this, I was on Mac, so I used Homebrew to install it. So if you're on Mac and you have Homebrew, you're going to want to go to your terminal and make sure you're in the correct directory, which is going to be the directory where all your code is in. And I just did brew install ffmpeg. But alternatively, you can install ffmpeg by cloning the git repository, and you're going to want to run this command in the terminal. And unlike other Python packages, ffmpeg, well, it's not really a Python package because you don't import it, and yeah, you can't install it with pip, I'm pretty sure. So just be aware of that. Now for YouTube DL is a Python package that allows you to download YouTube videos, and you can actually install this by using this pip command, pip install YouTube DL. So again, you're going to want to do that in the terminal here. If that doesn't work out for you, another way you can do that is by going to PyCharm, go to Preferences, and if you go to Project and then Python Interpreter, you should see a list of all of the packages in your project right now. And as you can see down here, I have a package called YouTube-DL. And the way I can install YouTube DL, because let's say I didn't have it, is by going to this plus sign that says install, and then I just search for YouTube DL, and I would just install the package. So PyCharm makes it fairly simple to get that started. And once you install that package, you're going to want to import YouTube DL. And we also need to import OS, which is a package that comes with the Python language itself. So you don't need to go downloading this, but it essentially allows you to manage your files. The way this play command is going to work is, first, we already have the code that lets the bot join the channel from the play command, but the next thing we have to do is actually use this URL to download the YouTube video that we want to play in the VC, and then we have to convert that video to FFmpeg audio. And we are going to do this with the installations we've made and the packages we just installed. So the first thing we are going to do is create a variable called song_there. And basically every time we use this play command, we're going to save a file in our local directory called song.mp3, and then that song file will be played. But then when we call this play command again, we're going to delete that sound file and replace it with another song file. And we'll play that audio instead. So again, this is not the most efficient method of doing this. However, it works for our purposes. So we'll say song_there is equal to os.path.isFile. And then we'll put the name of the file, which is going to be song.mp3. Next, we're going to say try if song_there. Then we're going to os.remove that song file. So basically what that is saying is if a song file already exists, then we're going to remove it and replace it with the new song file that we're going to create. Next, we're going to have an accept, and we'll say permission error, and then we'll send await ctx.send, wait for the current playing music to end, or use the stop command. So this error or exception is going to occur when there's already music playing, because we don't want to call this command when we already have music playing. That will just mess everything up. Now we're going to have the code that we already have here, and below this code we're going to create a variable called ydl_ops, and this variable is basically going to specify the options for the download of our YouTube video. And I'm not going to go too deep into what each of these means, but for format, you can specify best audio or best. For the key, this is important. We want it to be Ffmpeg audio. And our preferred file is going to be MP3, and then preferred quality, I kind of just found this on the internet, so that's going to be 192. Now we can say with YouTube_DL.YouTubeDL, we're going to pass in ydl ops, we're going to say as ydl, and then we're going to say ydl.download, and inside of here we'll put URL. Make sure you have these brackets, it's just part of the syntax. So URL, remember from before, URL is this parameter up here that we pass in when we use our command. So we're going to download that video. Now what we're going to do is say for file in os.listdir, and then /, so that will be the working directory. If our file ends with .mp3, we're going to rename that file. So say file and then song.mp3. And then make sure we're out of this for loop and out of this if statement. And lastly, we're going to play that audio in the voice channel. So we'll say voice.play discord.ffmpeg audio, PCM audio, and inside of here we're going to put song.mp3, which is the name of our audio file. And there we have our play command. So let's run this bot and make sure that all our commands are working. So our bot's online. I'm going to join the voice channel. And the first command I'm going to try is the play command. And I'm going to paste in this URL from YouTube with the music I want to play. So we have an error. Alright, to fix some of the errors I was getting, first thing I did was remove the if statement we had here for connecting to the voice channel, because apparently this voice variable here can only be created when your bot is already connected to a voice channel. And also I added this return for the accept. And the last thing that we have to do is move this voice channel.connect above the voice variable. So let's run this again and hopefully it works. I'm going to use the command play and I'll copy in my YouTube URL. Here's some lo-fi music. Hopefully it'll play. So right now everything's being downloaded. Alright, and there it is. If you can hear that, the bot is playing some music. You can also use our other commands like pause, and the audio will stop, and then we can do resume. We can also stop the audio. And if we do leave, our bot's going to leave the voice channel. So if we look at the output here, what basically happened was we downloaded this YouTube video from the URL, and then we converted it to Ffmpeg, and lastly we renamed the file to song.mp3. If I wanted to play a different song, I could paste in a different URL, and it's going to download that and play it in the VC. Alright, so that's essentially it for this bot. All of the code will be available on GitHub, so don't worry if you kind of got lost in this explanation. You could look through the code on there. Definitely more things can be added to this bot, like quiz and voting for skipping songs, but for now I just have this one part. If you guys like this video and want me to do a part 2 on this specific bot, then comment down below. Also, reminder to join my Discord server if you need help or you just want to chat. But anyways, thank you and see you all in the next video.